Otto Octavius will become the superior Spider-Man, and here's why. Hey there, this is your Master Doodle with too much time on his hands, Doodle here with another video. And today I want to talk about this theory that I have been having that I don't think many people talk about, that Octavius will become the superior Spider-Man in the Insomniac world. And if you don't know about Superior Spider-Man, quick spoilers for the comics. Superior Spider-Man is basically Dr. Octopus switching his minds with Peter Parker because he was dying in the comics. Now, do I think he's going to be dying in the Insomniac universe? No. See, this video will contain some spoilers to the first Spider-Man Insomniac game through the second one. So, if you don't want spoilers for any of that, go back and play the games, and I'll still be here. So, the reasons why I believe Otto will become the Superior Spider-Man is because in the first game, they showed that Otto had a degenerative, disorder with his limbs.
My doctors call it a degenerative neurological disorder. Probably caused by overexposure to toxic chemicals in my reckless youth.
Sorry, is there anything I can do?
You already are. The worst part is, it only affects the muscles. The mind continues to work, but it can no longer do.
So that means he will lose his mobility functions. His arms, legs, body will not be able to move. So what does he do? He creates the arms, right? And he does that so he can walk, right? That makes sense. Because in the ending of the game, he gets beaten by Peter because he went cuckoo, right? And he says this line.
No! If they put me away, they'll take my arms! I'll be trapped in this useless body!
It shows you how much he doesn't want to be constricted to a body that cannot move anymore. And he feels like Peter betrayed him, right? Even though Peter didn't, Otto betrayed him. He feels hurt. He doesn't reveal his identity, so I think he has an ace up his sleeve. And I was like, hey, he has degenerative limbs, right? And he's like, oh, that makes sense for the arms. And my brain immediately, from that moment, thought that, oh, what if they allude to Superior Spider-Man? Maybe that's what they're doing, right? And at that point, I just thought it was like, it's a little cheeky thing. But then when the second game hit, Peter had arms. The mechanical arms. In the comics, when Otto takes over Peter's body, he adds new stuff to it. He makes the suit a little darker, the webs a little more scratchy and everywhere. And then he also has arms, because of course Otto Octavius needs arms in his suit. And he has more tech. And this could be a better way to incorporate Super Spider-Man, because in the comic, it doesn't, before Octavius took over his body, there was no indication that there's any, correlation to each other before that. But in this universe, they could have a perfect way of incorporating that. Because Peter in this one is already more technically advanced. He has a lot more gadgets. He already, was trained by Otto Octavius. His suit is literally inspired by Otto Octavius.
I hope you don't mind, but I noticed the suit was a bit damaged, and I took the liberty of sketching up some of my own improvements. Attached are a few ideas I had on how you could enhance his suit and help protect Spider-Man, who does so much for this city. Looking forward to the incredible work that we are doing and changing the world together. Your partner and friend, Otto.
White spider, huh?
It was like Otto helped him. So there's already that leadway to that. It's like, it already works. In the first game, we see that Peter already has spider bots. See, in the comics, Otto Octavius created the spider bots to basically surveillance people. So it wouldn't be a stretch that Otto would just be like, hey, Peter already has these spider bots. Let me do that to the rest of the world of becoming, a surveillance state, basically. There's already pieces that could make it much more believable that Otto would be believed as Spider-Man. And there's more. Like I said with the arms. He already has mechanical arms because, Peter needs to, improve himself, right? And he also gets more tech. Even the ends of the arms are very pointy. So all Otto would need to do, switching the bodies, would be, color changing. And a big reason why I think that Otto would even think of switching is because he's stuck in the body. He doesn't want to stay in that. So him switching his mind would make total sense in this one instead of just, just dying. He just doesn't want to be stuck in a useless body, like you said. Switch makes sense. And then in the ending, when we saw cameo of Og, and how pissed he is to Norman, we see this scene where, like, Otto is like,
"What are you writing?"
The final chapter.
The final chapter. Think about that. Think of how cool that would be. Yes, I know we have to wait because we have a Wolverine game and then we have a Miles Morales main game. But if this is all stuff that could happen in the background, and I know you're gonna say, hey, Peter has the anti-venom suit now, and why would there be point of the arms? Well, that still doesn't excuse everything because we don't know what's the outcome of that suit afterwards. We don't know if he probably still has it, right? But they would have to make a story reason why afterwards. What if there's some shenanigans where, because of Norman's hatred, Otto, asks him for help to be able to switch his consciousness for some reason to make his life worse, maybe. I'm not sure. And even in the Spider-Man 2 game, they have a suit. When you switch over, before you change abilities from the black suit to anti-venom suit, before that, they have a suit of the Superior Spider-Man, which looks cool, except that piece where they made it connected. It's kind of weird. They have the Superior Spider-Man suit already there, and when you change it, the arms change too. When you're in the regular advanced suit, he already has the arms, but they're white because of the back, but it's thick, right? So that means they had to change a completely different model when they switched over to the Superior Spider-Man suit. Because when I turned into him, his arms were skinnier and much more angry looking, if that makes sense. So they have all the pieces. And I don't hear people talking about this. Maybe because it's just an Easter egg. But there are too many sprinkled things to tell me otherwise. Otto Octavius will become the Superior Spider-Man in the Insomniac universe. At least that's what I think. And you know what? If I'm wrong, that's okay. You know why? Because I love all these Insomniac games and the way they incorporate new things and different surprises is still cool to me. But I would still love to see a storyline where we play as a Superior Spider-Man. And since in the second game, we gotta see a more brutal Spider-Man. And that's another thing, I almost forgot about this. That's another way to show that it wouldn't be as hard to believe that his mentality would switch. We already saw by the second game that he got angry. So for the people who out there just think that Peter got angry because of the suit, right? So when they see Superior Spider-Man in a darker suit, that wouldn't be hard to believe. And then they could have a whole storyline where Miles is trying to help. And this time, he can't just take away a suit. Otto is literally inside Peter's brain. And then what if they do the whole Otto dies in his body or he's just stuck even more because, again, he can't move. And Miles, we also have to play Miles trying to stop him. I know we already had a Miles versus Peter fight, but this would be a cool other way of doing that. And then this could also put strain on the relationship with MJ and Peter. And you know what? By this point, they could be married by this point because she's already living with him. And this probable game will have to take a long time because, like I said, there's a Wolverine game coming out. There's a main Miles Morales Spider-Man game that's going to be for the third game. So we gotta wait for that. Unless they have it where Miles is having Peter be the side character in that game. I'm not sure. But there's just way too much evidence to show that Peter will get replaced by Otto and become the Superior Spider-Man. Again, maybe this is all just Easter eggs. But let me point out, the Otto being very non-mobile, and then him going crazy, and then him having the arms, and then Peter being, inspired by Otto's design to keep the suit. Remember, he never changed it. Keep the suit. People probably think of that. Then Peter decides to get arms himself. Then he gets the black suit, gets angry. Good way of incorporating that. Peter has already made spider bots. There you go. In the comics, Otto used those to basically make a police state. There you go. He watches everyone. There's too much of a good evidence. And maybe you might say, but they've already done the story. But hey, there's different ways to incorporate a story. I could be saying all the things I like. Maybe they could incorporate it a little differently. But I'm not sure. And that's my thoughts on how Otto Octavius will become the superior Spider-Man in a game maybe, or a DLC. What do you think? Am I going crazy with this? Did I think too hard on this? What are your thoughts? Please let me know in the comments down below. I read all your comments, and I would really like to know your opinion. Have you read the Superior Spider-Man run? Have you not? I also would like to know. And if you like my stuff, please don't be afraid to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like the video so you can reach out to more people. This has been Doodlebite, and I hope to see everyone in the next video.